Hi, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Wonder Snatch. Just got some really bad news on the internet that Chi Chi DeVayne, a drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8, seems to be in renal failure from her skin condition called scleroderma. Today I'm going to talk a bit about scleroderma and explain what it is, and also doing a tribute to Chi Chi DeVayne by recreating one of her looks. Alright, so don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell so you're notified every time I upload new videos. Join the family, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit after I get these eyebrows gone. Alright, so brows are gone and face tapes are on. And before I start, I want to just make a little bit of a disclaimer. I am a dermatologist, but today's video is mainly going to be for educational and informative purposes only. So I'm not here to diagnose anything, but I'm here to talk about scleroderma. So I'm going to be recreating this look by Chi Chi DeVayne. It's from her All Stars 3 appearance, okay? And I think it's a really, really gorgeous look. I don't have such a colorful dress, but I will try to recreate it as best as I can, okay? So I'm just going to go in with my primer. So Chi Chi DeVayne was the Bayou Princess from season 8 and then went back to All Stars 3, and she was Miss Congeniality in season 8. She always had this amazing positive attitude, but she didn't have the resources that most of the other girls had, so she always looked a little bit less polished. But in All Stars 3, this look of hers my jaw dropped when I saw it, so I'm going to try to recreate it as best as I can. Okay, and today I'm going to go in with, let's go back to use my SMASHBOX Studio Skin Full Coverage. This just to cover those browns. Okay, this is very, very nice and full coverage for that. Okay, and today I'm going to be using my UOMA Beauty. So, what is scleroderma? Scleroderma is basically a condition where your body is actually making too much collagen. Okay, so everything gets stiff. The skin gets stiffer and tighter, and sometimes this goes into the rest of the body and it starts to make the blood vessels really stiff and tissues and organs really stiff as well. So that's what has happened to Chi Chi DeVayne. Okay, she's actually in renal failure. Her kidneys are failing because the arteries to the kidneys are hardening, so they can't get enough blood. And because of that, the kidneys respond by making a hormone that pumps up your blood pressure because, they want to get more blood. So it's making a hormone that's trying to dilate those arteries. And now she's in renal failure because of that, and she might need a transplant. And today I'll be using my 2W as a highlight and UOMA Beauty Bronze Venus as contour. So if you think about it, scleroderma is actually the opposite of what Evie Oddly has. Evie Oddly, the winner of season 11 of Drag Race, has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. That's actually a genetic condition where your body doesn't make enough collagen, or the collagen it makes is not strong enough. Scleroderma is actually the opposite of that. What actually causes scleroderma, we don't really know, but it's an autoimmune disease, which means that the body is actually making antibodies against your own proteins. It usually attacks proteins in the nucleus, so it makes in the skin or wherever die, and this generates an immune response that causes the fibroblasts, which are the skin cells that make collagen, to overproduce collagen. And if you look under the microscope, the skin in these patients are chock full of collagen, okay, and it's really dense, like a big chunky cake. Add a little bit of 070 right there. Blend out these edges. Might as well do the brown. You have a lower brown today. So scleroderma can present two main ways. One is limited and one is diffuse. So limited is mainly restricted to the skin, presents as one patch of skin that's harder than the rest. Whereas diffuse, it can affect almost the entire skin, and it starts to affect the internal organs as well. That's a rough way to separate the two. Use a 070 just to pump up these highlights. So limited scleroderma, sometimes it's called morphia. It can present in childhood. Sometimes this condition, very interesting, called en coupe de sable, which is basically a strip of skin down the forehead that hardens. Those are usually very benign. Okay, and some people just get random patches on the body that harden. Okay, these are the highlights here. Okay, and I'm using my mix of RCMA and Ben Nye and a whole bunch of products for the rest of the face. Okay, I've knocked off most of the powders and I've laid down some more super white just to catch any fallout. I'm going to go into the eyes. Today we're going to use our UOMA Beauties again. She has a very warm rust-coloured crease in this look. So I'm going to go in with the colour Oruro from the Carnival palette and pack that into the crease. Some people think that there's this symptom called CREST, okay, C-R-E-S-T, which describes a constellation of symptoms that you can get with scleroderma. Okay, and CREST stands for calcinosis. That's when you get little lumps of calcium in your fingertips and other parts of the body. R is for Raynaud's phenomenon. Raynaud's phenomenon is it's when your blood vessels are extremely sensitive to temperature, and sometimes, for example, patients will say when they go to get things from the fridge, their fingertips turn white and painful because the blood supply is interrupted. E is for esophagus, and esophagus is patients have problems swallowing because of the fibrosis of the esophagus. And S is for sclerodactyly, which is the tightening of the fingers until they become really, really stiff. And T is for telangiectasia, which are blood vessel changes in the skin. Okay, they look like little spider webs in the skin. And then of course, once the disease starts to affect the other organs, very commonly the lungs get progressively stiffer and stiffer. When the lungs become too stiff, you get problems breathing, and you can get what we call pulmonary hypertension. Okay, and of course the kidneys, which we mentioned earlier. The kidneys can go into crisis because they don't get enough blood, because the blood vessels to the kidneys are all messed up. Okay, and then you just blend it into the base of the nose. Scleroderma is quite a rare disease. It affects only about 20 people out of every million in the population. And it mostly affects women because it's autoimmune, and black people are more susceptible to getting scleroderma. Okay, and it's quite difficult to treat, especially in diffuse scleroderma. You need a lot of medications to suppress your immune system so that it doesn't keep attacking your body. But sometimes it just progresses anyway, and you get into trouble like Chi Chi DeVayne. And gently blend up the edges. So treatment for scleroderma is basically immunosuppressives. So some of these patients end up taking a lot of steroids like cortisone and prednisolone, and that gives them even more problems. Okay, some patients require much more aggressive treatment. Okay, and these days there's some medications called monoclonal antibodies, and these are antibodies made in the lab that try to block the cytokines that cause scleroderma. And cytokines are basically chemicals produced by your immune system that cause the fibrosis. The trials for these aren't really great at the moment, so there's really no good treatment for scleroderma yet. Taking this flatter brush, I'm using the color Mazatlan. Okay, I'm going to open up the inner crease. The causes of scleroderma are still not really understood. We think there's a huge genetic component because sometimes patients have certain genes associated with the immune system. There's been speculation that it might be caused by exposure to certain viruses. It's really difficult when a disease is so rare to actually link it to any cause. So most of the time we are just treating the symptoms. Bring that a little bit into. Okay, let's go in with the brows. I'm using black gel. I'm just gonna fill in the tail. And then to the front with some of the brown, with some of the Mazatlan. Okay, clean that up with some of my starry white gel liner. And set that with some sugar pill taco. Okay, and blend that down into the eye makeup. Okay, and now with some blank canvas, I'm just going to go and cut that crease. As I mentioned earlier, scleroderma is quite a nasty disease. The processes that actually happen we don't really understand, but we know that it's an autoimmune attack on the cells, possibly in the skin, okay, called the fibroblasts. And when you do blood tests, you can find antibodies that are directed against what we call nuclear antigens, which are basically proteins in the nucleus. And this is related to other conditions such as lupus. Okay, so sometimes the blood tests that you do for scleroderma are the same ones that you do for lupus, okay, such as your anti-nuclear antigen. And the different combinations of antibodies that you get sometimes can predict the cause of the disease and what organs it might affect. Some antibodies are associated more with lung problems, and some antibodies are associated more with kidney problems. She has a really intense white lower waterline here, so I'm just going to fill that in with my INGLOT. And also that white liner. Set it all with sugar pill tackle. Okay, and then using Mazatlan, just going to go a little bit under that. And blend that out with Oruro. Okay, under eye, you want it to be almost opposite to that crease there. Okay. Let's use UOMA Beauty CLEOPATRA ink. Draw a liner straight out this way. Okay, I'm going to repeat this on the other side. Maybe bring it into the crease a little bit too, and I'll be right back. I just lined upper and lower lids, okay, and just deepened up a little bit the crease. I'm just going to blend this out a little bit more. Okay, and I added some black in those corners as well. So now let's go into the rest of the face. I want the forehead to be a little bit lower today. Some of the cytokines, some of the chemicals that people think are involved in overproduction of collagen and hardening in the skin are things like TGF-beta or transforming growth factor beta, and even this molecule called oncostatin M. Different cells that are involved in scleroderma are quite interesting also. Not just the fibroblasts, which produce the collagen, but also the endothelial cells. Endothelial cells are the cells of the blood vessels. Inflammation around the blood vessels might be the trigger to cause the overproduction of collagen in the skin. And it's a balance between inflammation and oxidation and fibrosis. Okay, these three things cause scleroderma. Okay, today using my Chocolate SOLEIL bronzer. Just knock off all this excess powder. Okay, and let's use that Trixie Mattel trick where we use the white eyeshadow, okay, to brighten up the inner face. Let's contour that nose. I'm going to just mix these two. Do lashes first. The most distinctive part are the lower lashes. Let's some black outline. Okay, mascara. Pop some lenses in. Construction paper here, which I'm going to cut up to do the lower lashes. These lashes, I think I've worn more than 20 times. Really love these. I'm just gonna stick these on the lower lash, alternating with some gems. Okay, put my face tapes on just so I don't have to put it over these lashes. Now I'm just dotting on some lash glue. Okay, so I have these construction paper lashes that I'm just going to pop on. Alright, so now lips. Okay, so I'm just going to do this dark red lip. I'm just going to clean up that lip, do some finishing touches, and be right back in the finished look. And this is the finished look. Made a nose ring out of cardboard and bejeweled it, sprayed it gold and bejeweled it. Oh. Yes, so this is my Chi Chi DeVayne look. I hope you learned a little bit about scleroderma today. I have some stuff linked below. And please show Chi Chi DeVayne some love. Keep her in your prayers and maybe donate some money to maybe help with the medical bills. I'll link her details down below for her Venmo, Cashapp and PayPal. So if you like this video, please smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and ring that bell so you're notified every time I upload new videos, alright? Okay, so, oh god, it's smearing all over. Okay, my nose ring is not staying on the way it should, so I'm just gonna hold it right there. If you want to see more videos like this, please comment down below. I'm very happy to talk about skin problems and science as well, because those are two of my other passions. Okay, this is not working. So I'm gonna try to take some pictures for Instagram, so follow me there at WonderSnatch, and I'll see you next time. Bye.